Hey, beautiful souls. As I give this update, I am going to be rolling organic cigarettes, so bear with me as I put my head down and as I speak. So, with this one, so I am multitasking, if you will. Uh, so let's dive right into this. This is a very important update. And before I begin with any of the particulars with the update, what I wish to say, it's so important for all of you now to retain your highest faith and belief in yourself, in your divinity, and that connection to Mother, Father, Prime Creator God. Um, it's so important that you do not give up your faith, do not falter nor waver in your belief, and do not succumb to the lower consciousness and the events that are associated with it. You need to retain your stature, your divine stature, no matter what. Also, it's so important for all of you or any of you that if you feel yourself slipping a bit into doubt, reach out and connect with your other brothers and sisters, your like minded ones. Having said that, I do have on Telegram a support community set up. Paula Joe has set it up for us, and with this community, it is growing. Where ones that may feel alone and isolated in this time come in, collaborate, and connect with your brothers and sisters. And we have set it up that we have audio calls where anyone can join. You don't need to show your face, and you can keep your microphone muted, and you can listen if you just wish. And if you wish to speak, you can unmute your microphone and join in the conversation or the discussion on the audio at any given time. So it's not exclusively audio. There's also the text chat that is there where ones are connecting together, and it's meant to be an overall support, and especially in this time of the great gathering all coming together, we have new ones that have felt isolated and alienated, if you will, by their families, but they are beginning to unite with their brothers and sisters because it is this great time for that. So it's to let all of you know no one is alone. Um, you're never alone. So there is always someone or some divine support that is out there. But it's very important that you keep, as I always emphasize and suggest, the unity and the connectivity with your other brothers and sisters and like minded. Because not only does it have an appeasing effect to know that you're not alone, there is the energy, the energetic exchange and connection that's involved with this. So when you reach out, and yes, you may feel vulnerable in a victim place. However, when you reach out and connect with your other brothers and sisters that are maintaining a higher vibration and state of consciousness, they will uplift you energetically, and you also will begin, if you don't begin to feel it, you will notice how it begins to affect your reality. So it's so important, the mechanics of this overall ascension, creation itself, even the mechanics of the individual, of you, is very important. And yes, it can be very intricate, detailed, and complex. But nevertheless, again, without needing to know all that, keep it simple, and keep connected with those that you love, if you will. Um, Hi, Dina. You say that it's, or Dawn, thank you. You say it's hard to hear I. Can I have any other feedback here, please? from another, so that we just see, Dawn, if it's on my end or if it may just be on your end with your volume. Is anyone else watching? Can you hear me well? Please put it in the comments section. Thank you. Oh, wait. All right. Let me have a look why the sound is low. All right, so Teresa says, yes, you can hear me very good, but we have two others that says the volume is low. We have more than that. All right, may I ask all of you to see if you can adjust your settings, go out and even come back into the live, if you will, and see if that assists that you can hear me well. Thank you. Before I continue. Or I'll continue in a moment. All right, as long as you can hear me. So anyone that has difficulty, put your headsets on later, if you will, if you cannot hear me now. So with this, to my knowledge, everything is turned up to the maximum volume here. Let me just check settings. Now, as far as I know, just checking on everything that yeah, to my knowledge, everything is to the highest that it can be with my microphone. So I'll continue. I'll speak a little bit louder. Perhaps that was part of it, that I was speaking lower than what I normally do. All right, thank you, Sheila. All right, so where were we at? Let's get back to, again, just to reiterate, it's so important. Do not waver from your divinity and your knowing that in this time it would be tumultuous, for some at least, if you will. But it's also important to know that you were given forward notice of this time. Back in September, I had put out, I believe, towards the end of September, or even quite possibly the 1st of October, I had put out the important update that had showed we were going into a plunge, or I might have even put it on a YouTube or on a live, if you will. So we knew that we were going into an energetic plunge, and we knew divinely that this had to occur for October, for the very reason the load of fear from our brothers and sisters not fully awakened yet, and even those that were awakened, alienated towards lower beliefs, it was too much of an anchor that we could not shift the timelines forward to the degree that we wanted, that would carry so many forward. So what was divinely the message I received with the divine plan, it was to allow for the month of October to be a plunge. And it had to be with all of you, all of us, coming in with this plunge to assist ones in this time of turmoil and chaos, to raise them up. without us going into this plunge, they could have succumbed to an implosion, and many souls could have vacated their physical vessels and left this realm, if you will. And it's important that they don't, because we're transitioning the whole human experience, including Earth and Gaia, into the higher dimensions. So we all need to be here. So the advice that was given was to just hold on. I have company just for a moment, if you will. just hold on. Hey, I can't mute this, but nevertheless,
Yeah, perfect.
everything is fine. Yeah. All right, I'll continue. So, having said this, again, it's so important for everyone to maintain your divine stamina and to not falter at all, and keep your full faith and your trust no matter what happens worldwide. And again, with the flooding, if you will, uh, it's been occurring worldwide, more predominantly or prominently since, let's say, the spring. But there has been divine measures that were taken to take excess water from Earth, to keep it simple. So we have been doing that, and without that being done, it could have been at this point a total worldwide flood, because also part of the reasons is the water table inside of Gaia is saturated as well in many parts of the world of Gaia. So there was had to be excess water taken, without getting into the full explanation of what was occurring on the higher divine creation level. So let me say that all of you, all of us, the divine teams and the galactics are all here ensuring that we transition Earth, the human civilization, or into civility, and to take it forward. So we all have our roles to play, our divine roles to do with that. What I need to say is that we're early into October, only the 11th yet, and also importantly, there will be, to my knowledge yet, however, in the blink of an eye, the divine plan could change. Nevertheless, there could be more traumatic occurrences and events worldwide. However, again, it's important for ones not to view it as a movie per se, but to know that it's very real, but do not get caught in the drama and the negative emotions with it. Understand that upon earth there is a very high divine plan that is also playing out. And also, for all of you, again, with a little bit more information, I need to reiterate that upon earth, not all of what you think is human is human. Out of approximately 8 billion humanoids, there are 6 billion human souls. What this means is that there is about 2 billion that are not human souls, that do not have the ability to change the DNA in their vessel to vibrate in the new reality. So these 2 billion are and Jesus said it in the Beatitudes, these 2 billion, most of them are men made by men, if you will. And he had said that 2,000 years or so ago. And what this means is that These are clones, they're fabrications, they're robotics, they're cyborgs, um, and they do not have the spark of God as well to go forward. So it needs to be understood if you begin to see lots of deaths worldwide that don't attribute all these deaths to human souls, because there is that huge component there that you need to understand as well. And it's not for any of you to judge who is a human soul and who is not, meaning that you do not become hostile or project that towards anyone, and especially any soul. So you use your utmost divine neutral discernment in this, at not judging another. Another will judge themselves by their actions, and this is how you can see if more so if one is a soul or is genuine or not. They will reveal and expose themselves through their actions with insidious deeds. Now, this is not to say that some human souls that have just begun to advance, that at times that they may give severe negative expressions from themselves, because that also can occur when a soul is going through the dissension period where they drop right down and they can become so confused. So it is important to hold space. Do not put a judgment on that. And another important reason why you should not, because all of you watching this, you are divine co-creators. And what this means is that you affect your reality and you affect others. So, for example, if a divine soul is having a hard time and you think and project upon them that they're having a hard time, it can keep them lower. Your divine role to do is to, when you see anyone in distress, is to think, no, they are fine, and that they are raising up. And then your projections in that way uplifts and supports them in this most important time. So it's important to know as co-creators how powerful that what you think, how you act, and how powerful you are, and you are becoming more powerful, if you will. So it's important to know that and be conscientious of it, and to be aware, if you will. Now, again, getting back to what we said is the plunge, whatever it entails, but at least you know that we had to plunge with the timelines, if you will. But also, as we plunge with the timelines, it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone plunges in vibration. What it means is that your vibration has been lowered enough to stay in this space so that we don't separate from them, because these are our divine comrades, brothers and sisters as well. So everything is divinely designed that we stay here. If your vibration was to become too high, for example, your frequency, you would vibrate right out of this reality. And your divine role and purpose here, at least for most of you, is to assist the transitioning of the rest of the human souls forward. So you are needed consciously and divinely here for that effect, in the least. And it's divinely ensured. So here we are. You have the lower timeline. We have all the divine ones, but it's all the same timeline right now. and at this current time to assist in raising the brothers and sisters up out of the fear and out of the countless illusions that have been perpetrated upon them, at the same time to evolve their physical vessels. We are kept here at the higher echelon of this reality, while from the central sun, if you will, there is the DNA upgrades that are specific for them to raise them up, meaning that you may see a lot of sun activity and emissions at this time, but you don't see it changing you or your energetic field, because it's not for you. It's for these to raise them up to the higher state and to evolve their DNA. So everything is fine with you. So we're being a cover, not a cover here, we're being a support. So we're holding the space while these other brothers and sisters, that we need more of them awakened and in unity, so that we take the new world forward. We didn't have enough. It was tested in the last last half of September of linear time. It was tested with many of you feeling the floaty sensations, dizzy spells, wobbles, not constant in space and time. What all of these were was tests upon your individuals, on the individuals, to see how many could acclimatize to a sudden shift in reality, so we could avoid all of these unnecessary events. However, what occurred, each one was tested individually with this, where you were in an equilibrium between two states of being in two realities. So you were here and it got wobbly and all of these other effects, and this is why those effects occurred, if you will. And it is still ongoing, because we have this new reality sitting here, and it's so close that at times you will still get dizzy spells, because it is also part of your support, because we're creating this new world. So you still need to be connected to this new world while you're connected to the lower timeline. So it's all in one. It's part and parcel. It's all one thing that is occurring. So with all of your symptoms, it was also given that some of you, let's say to some extent, that crystals began to come out of your bodies, and it did mine and Femke's as well. And one of the reasons that the crystals were coming out of your physical vessels is for some to lower your vibration, because the more crystals that you had in, you would have increased in frequency and not be there to support the others. Now, with others at the same time, when crystals were coming out, their physical vessels are still in advancement, development of making the physical vessel more actively crystalline. And the crystalline content is contained in the plasma of your blood. And that's where it gets activated and begins with the physical anatomy to change your physical vessel, so that you can acclimatize and sustain a higher existence in the places of absolute bliss, joy, harmony, peace, love. And that is the new world we're creating. So your physical vessel is being accommodated and facilitated to that effect. And yes, this is a tedious process, if you will. However, nevertheless, it is divinely ascertained that this ascension occurs and goes forward, and it always is. It's governed by let's say, the higher divine. Now, this is not to say that in this reality that there is not the resistance, if you will. And although the resistance, the evil resistance, is small, it becomes empowered by the conscious co-creators that are oblivious to what they are creating when they support these fear paradigms, if you will, and fear outcomes with events. One thing that was very notable and noticeable that I had to see was with the recent Hurricane Milton, if you will. How, in fact, that was not even a hurricane, yet some of the news and some of the manipulated ones were putting out that it was already a Hurricane 5, which it wasn't. But why that the resistance put that out was to trick ones into believing that it was, and then they created. Because then it was created. Because the darkness, the resistance, cannot create on their own. What they do is they manipulate and trick the human souls into creating things for them. So the darkness in the past, they just write a script and they put that out there. They propagate it outwards with propaganda worldwide. And then when ones believe it, if you will, the more that believes it, then it gets created. The actual truth is that darkness has no power. They were tricking ones into believing that they had power. This is the biggest illusion of all. And in this great time, again, we are freeing humanity from the overall illusion and also the mechanisms of the illusion, which is their monetary policy and artificial man-made laws. So we are freeing humanity completely of that controlling mechanism, what they had. And with this, everything is designed divinely to that effect. So again, it's important to retain your divine stature, and yeah, even though things may look very rough out there, know that everything is divine and it's being watched very closely. And also for all of you with your individual guidance, where you're to put love in areas, or also your divine compassionate energy, whatever you're called to do that divinely. But importantly, don't be tricked by the darkness as well, and don't get involved into any deep fear constructs or mechanisms. These are the tactics of the darkness. Everything they do is orchestrated to make you, in the past, generate fear into the reality, like frustration, impatience, anger, and even being afraid. Because when they could intimidate you and make you do that, then what you are doing is creating the most favorable, negative, fearful environment for them, because they cannot exist in a divine place where we're going. So they needed you to use all of you in the past, all of us, to do that. But now you have the knowledge and the wisdom so that their games no longer work. And the more of our brothers and sisters that were enslaved in that, they are awakening more every moment, then what we are doing is collapsing that old paradigm. And as a result of this, the actual resistance, what is left of them, the evil and darkness, they are so afraid, they are so desperate that everything that they do now is even more obvious to someone not awakened, meaning that the one not awakened saying there's something wrong, at least, in this world. What is happening? So what this is doing is giving the added effect that more are very abruptly awakening and not accepting nor condoning the present old worldwide system that has kept humanity enslaved. And this is what it is about, what is occurring. We need to ascend humanity into love, peace, and harmony. To do that, the old has to go, and it's divinely orchestrated that it does. You cannot have a new world where ones are manipulated and controlled, and especially their energy tricked from them and pillaged to create negative things. We are going into a full, beautiful, peaceful, harmonious, loving, compassionate world of sharing and worldwide community. So, having said that, I believe my volume's still pretty good, I believe, which is great. So once again, importantly, know your divinity and know God and keep with that. And it's important to discern the narratives that you're following as well. You know within your heart what is right or wrong. This is your God knowing, your inherent knowing to know what is right and wrong. This is from God. So don't let anyone trick you of your morals and your divine morals of knowing what is pure, what is right, and what is good, and keep that within you. That is your divine incentive and direction to keep you in alignment with this ascension. And also not to condone anything that is less than divinity and all of the good things like peace, harmony, love, and the virtues, the integrity and the transparency, which is also God and which is us. So do not get tricked. Do not get bought by the capitalistic system that is of the darkness to maintain control and to have ones competing against each other to create greed, to have ones profiting at the expense of another, to create wealth disparity where ones would have a lot of money and others would have few. Don't get involved in any of those mechanisms. If it is not fully equality with all seen as equal, it's not godlike. So I cannot keep it any simpler than that. And do not be bought by any of the darkness. Do not be bought into a comfort into their world. It is not what and who you are, and it's important that you don't energize those scenarios as well. For the more that you energize and support that old reality, the more you keep it intact. Also, it's important not to fight the old reality. And this is so important, again, when Jesus said, no eye for an eye, and don't fight fear with fear. What you do is you turn the other cheek, but you turn away from it and you gather the masses that eradicates that fear. So you do not go in fear and become aggressive and fight it. You actually take the divine offensive and collect the majority of the human souls and create your groups and do this that takes, it eradicates, it cannot exist. See, fear cannot exist when you don't energize it nor allow it, or any of its constructs, or any evil construct, again. And yes, in this time of October, we are down close witnessing that fear, what is occurring, and need to be a little part of it so that we are there to assist our brothers and sisters out of it. So if you were not, again, a part of it, you'd be no good to them because you wouldn't even be here. So it's important to understand this as well. So, where are we at here? Well, where we're at, again, do your best with your divine work. It was so beautiful with the hurricanes, if you will, to see so many come together divinely, putting their energetic focus there to dissolve them, which is absolutely powerful. It's beautiful. And let's just take Milton, for example. By all of you coming together, you don't know what you avoided. Meaning that hurricane, if you will, was at Hurricane 5 or super hurricane strength. So had you not all come together, it could have went up to maybe number 7 on the scale, which they don't have yet. But by you coming together, you avoided much more of a great destruction. So you need to know, always stay with your faith, your divine determination, no matter what. Do not waver. It's so important. And know that you, all of us, are the higher divine power. We are the directors of the movie, if you will. Not they, what they do. It doesn't matter what they do. It matters what you and what us do. We are the co-creators, the directors of this entire movie and the entire Ascension. So what they do, no, don't put any focus or attention directly on that. Neutrally observe what they do, so then you know what they're doing, but then you say, all right, we're taking the divine offensive, we're taking that out of play, because we are the directors of the movie. We say no negativity. So you effect that by doing the higher divine offensive and not going into any fear energetic stances or motions or actions or reactions. Now, what I will be doing divinely is, I believe I am going to be doing a sort of a guided empowerment meditation. And I will do these most likely on one of the Telegram channels, if not more of it. And what we are going to be doing with my divine abilities is sharing with you also how to empower yourself. So it'll be something like a yoga nidra, and we will do it all together, whoever joins in with it. So it's important also to know that this will further activate, energize, and divinely empower even more in this great time. Femke, Dawn just said hi. She saw you go by.
Hi.
So I wanted to share that as well. And, you know, again, I'm on Telegram quite a bit with doing discussions. And one of the reasons for that, you know, what I love is that we can have the audio discussion, unlike what we can have here on my computer. If I was on the phone, yeah, sure, I could bring ones in, but the phone with the Facebook dashboard for doing lives, it's not as efficient and easy to use. So I prefer always simplicity. You know, when they complicate things, no, we like to do it as simple as you can. Hey Johnny, yeah, we're still in Romania. No call to go to Denmark yet. We're just here until Father gives us direction, and right at this time, we have no direction on where we're going, but we're told just to stay here at least, and that's what we're doing for now. And again, everyone needs to know that very rarely does it, but the divine plan is always subject to change without notice, if you will. So let's see what occurs. So let me just see. The activity from the sun, yes, will still continue. Also, as I said, it's mostly oriented to assist with the advancement of the other souls more into the crystal line, because it has to be, or they would not be able to remain in our reality. So they need to be upgraded. However, at the same time, yes, there is, if and when you need it, there is also the divine energetic reprieve that is given through the emissions as well for the sun. I will say yesterday a lot of diamond, last couple days, a lot of diamond light codes coming in. Out of all of those diamond light codes coming in, most of it was for our brothers and sisters, just raising more power. But some of it was for us. What percentage, what degree, I cannot readily say, or perhaps I can. About 5% was for us to maintain our stability, our energetic stability, if you will, and not to let the consciousness drop too much, because fear energy drops the consciousness in the past, and it not only that, it and then one begins to forget and becomes confused of who and what they are divinely. However, in this great time, as I mentioned in the post before the plunge, that everyone would retain their divine advancement in consciousness to the level where they're at, and be more readily able to access any of the divine tools in the higher consciousness to keep them floating above the density and the turmoil, yet not floating too far that you become detached from this. Now, let me say also, with a beautiful divine sister last night, let's say at in North Carolina, I had a quick call with her to get a boots on the ground report of what actually was occurring there. To keep everything simple, it has become very clear for many that a lot of the storm, at least was, how will I put this? That a lot with the storm in the aftermath, it became very clear that there was an inhumane resistance towards that, meaning that the usual suspected authorities and the protection mechanisms were really not there. It came from the people themselves, from different states coming in to assist, and the churches assisting the people. There was also false things that were put out saying that all the major roads were impassable, when in fact, and we also saw information that it showed roads impassable until a year or so later. That was all false. It's important to know that some of these roads were passable, that they were stable, and that information that was put out there to stop others from coming in, that it was not true, that ones were able to get in, but it was limited access, and there was intention taken to not allow others to come in to assist, which is a nefarious act, if you will. So I could go into more, but I don't need to, meaning that for I and what I do, this entrusted divine sister give me the absolute truth by being there in the area so that, that it was able to more readily discern what was accurate and what was not as well. So it's important again for one's, even on Facebook or what have you, don't believe everything that's being put out there, because it may be a brother or a sister that may put something out that is not truth, but they may just not know it yet, that they were tricked to pass on information that is not true as well. So it's not their fault, what I'm saying, if they don't know many of the higher truths, and if they don't know the tactics of darkness and how they orchestrate things with propaganda and giving misinformation and intel deliberately into groups, thinking that it is true when exactly it's not. So you need to be aware of the manipulation that is also done of genuine souls that are oblivious to the actual dark intents. So they trick, they manipulate, they entice with monetary rewards to individuals, if you will. And again, as I said, the easiest way to discern this is any monetary rewards, if it is not for all of humanity at once, then you should look deeper into it, because it's not equal, it's not transparency, and it's disparity. These things are not godlike. To be godlike is all encompassing, all compassionate, all community for all, no discrimination with that. So it's important. These are simple little things to keep in mind to assist you in navigating through these very dense times, that many of you were given, that with your divine information that would occur. But it's important to know that everything is fine, and all of us, for the most part, will be all right in this reality. Now, when I said for the most part, what I mean, some divine souls with their divine mission done here, they will they will ascend, but it'll look like a death process. But in reality, no one dies. The divine ones, we don't die. We are connected to Mother, Father, Prime Creator. We exist. Our souls, our consciousness exists for all time. It cannot be robbed nor taken nor from you, and it cannot be infiltrated by another, meaning that some will think they might have a entity within them, or someone might say, oh, I see an entity within them. No, there is no entity. Once they understand that they don't believe that, then the entity is gone, because what occurs actually, the one that believes that creates the entity environment theirself. So I need to clear that up as well, meaning that no human soul is possessed. They're only possessed by their self in their lower beliefs. No darkness or no evil spirit can possess one, if you will. They can be in the past manipulated into their beliefs to present that type of scenario, but what is actually occurring is that it's no outside entity, it's them themselves that is energizing it through and being, let's say, manipulated with in the past EMFs, substance abuse by the individual, because when substance abuse and alcohol, for example, or drugs by the individual, it lowers their vibration. And when it lowers their vibration, the outside EMFs, because it's with the same frequency, then the outside EMFs were able to give instructions to control the individual. So then through substance abuse, yes, ones were more gullible and more susceptible to outside influence. So, with that, I believe I've been on here 50 minutes. I thought it was just going to be half an hour with a quick update. So it's important. I keep very busy with what I do in Femke, and we try to assist as many as possible with this journey and do this divine work. I myself, or Femke and I, we work about 12 hours a day, if you will. It's from the time I get up after I get back in this body, in the morning until we go to bed, that we're doing divinely something to assist the all. But also, like you, everything that you do now is divine, and it's having an impact every minute of the day for what you do, and where you put your focus in your choices and your energy, because we are all co-creating together, and this is why we wish to get all together, everyone together, to co-create the new world, to create completely out of the matrix. So what you do, we bring all together and we create ourselves out of the matrix, if you will, is a way to look at it. So having said this, to the best of my ability, and to be fully open and honest, when I look at Rick, I asked this question today for the humanoid part of Rick. What do I actually do for myself? And the answer to that is very little. With my great divine compassion and my divine role, I'm always mostly out there for all of you. And when I need a break and when I need to do that, I will. Having said this, also it's important for ones to activate the energetic theme of the twin flames once again. So I ask all of you to get that energized back up, because that is an upliftment. That belief in the twin flames is part of creation of the new world. These are the templates for the new relations. Without that being energized, there is no direction in the relations as well. Ones will find no direction, they'll see no suitable partner or anything. So with this, it's important for the twin flame consorts to know this and to put a little more focus on your twin flame ability. And what this does, it energizes and begins to give trajectories for others, energetic trajectories to empower this as well. Because again, the twin flame concept is an important divine delegation that affects reality more so than just one by theirself. And this comes into divine procreation by the masculine and the feminine to do this. So what you have, a masculine and a feminine, you have a balanced energy of creation in this reality to take things forward. And also it is throughout. You have Mother and Father God. You do not have an androgynous direction, if you will, out of this reality. It is accepted more and more to know that the Mother Creator plays a big role in this, just as the Father does as well. And in this great time, the Mother and Father has come together to lead humanity into civility out of the savagery. And the divine feminine right at this time have the most important role that they ever had in a humanoid existence. So it's very important to know that role, and we have, again, so many at different levels. And with your twin flame experiences, I see something in here where a twin flame is on drugs. Yes, ones can come out of that quickly, but also what you're doing is work upon yourself, heightens yourself with your divine standards, and what you are looking for is one that has the same divine standards. You don't wish to be stooping down to, let's say, someone that has drug problems or what have you, when you don't. Because if you do that, it's going to lower your energetic field as well. So you need to use your divine discernment in this. Is that one actually a twin flame, or is it just like an attraction, if you will? So is it a full bona fide twin flame catalyst, or the real twin flame? And ideally and realistically, no one should need to stoop to any great degree for their divine consort, their twin flame. It needs to be pretty well compatible within a certain level, not an extreme. So, and Dawn says there are people out there teaching that there are no twin flames. Well, with that, that's what they may think and may believe, and no, there is the twin flames, and for them, perhaps they're not going forward into the beautiful, harmonious relationships and the ascension, and that may be why, because without that twin flame belief, if you will, what it does, it also takes away the power to some degree of the individual. So your beliefs are so important on what you wish to have and what's in higher alignment. And for the one that's teaching there is no twin flames, what I would say with that one, they don't know, they're oblivious that it actually is. And when you speak to any twin flames, they will let you know about the energy and the creations and things, that it is absolutely very real. It's beyond anything that humans ever known, in alignment with experience and feeling the love, on the sacred love on the higher levels. So it is absolutely very true, and any that says it isn't, they just are not fully informed, if you will, yet, or they have a nefarious intent and are manipulated to try to do that, to separate twin flame consorts from their power as well. Again, you got to go back and remember the darkness. They write these scripts and they trick ones into believing it to get it out there, with their underlying intent and agenda to disempower ones, to separate ones. These are always, and to stall things. These are dark tactics, which are very easy to recognize. And if you look at this, why would anyone say there are no such thing as twin flames? Why would anyone say that? The moment, if you would, that they begin to say that, they're disempowering the individuals. So then that's a red flag right away, if you will. So it's very easy to see this. So for all, think about what you're reading, what you're hearing, and use your discernment from your heart, connected with your consciousness. Don't just go by a feeling. Use your consciousness as well, and go through that process, and very quickly look at any content. Is this empowering ones? or is it disempowering at ones? And if you find very quickly through your quick evaluation in discernment, if it's disempowering ones, let it go. It's not truth. Because in this great time of truth, we are lifting all boats and empowering ones all equally and together. So anything that suggests of separation or any of those things, don't go into it because it's nefariously contaminated for that effect to separate ones. So be wise. Don't fall for these tactics of the darkness at playing with your mind and your consciousness to take you away from your own divinity and your divine tools, such as being a twin flame consort. I mean, look at that. How beautiful, how sacred, and how divine is that concept? Why would someone say that it's not real? Well, immediately, as I just explained, either they have a nefarious intent or they are not knowledgeable enough to know that higher truth. And for ones should not be following ones like that. And yes, I will say it, because you have many trolls, you have many out there that are, they are, if you will, dark trolls. They are designed to put false information, misleading information, but it's all, again, designed to manipulate and control. So don't fall for it, if you will. Yeah, that's right, Mia. So with that, what I'll say is love, light, and gratitude, and thank you all for your beautiful support of Femke and I as we do this important mission. And of course, there is the light that we can see, if you will. So we're right close to the end of the tunnel. I don't feel it'll be very long now. One thing that Father said is with GPMS.world, which is the entire replacement system, and believe it, please, that it's very possible by November 15th linear time this year, and we're only about, a month away from that. But for Father also to be insistent with that, even now as I speak, some very heavy, miraculous, divine things can occur to facilitate that. So never give up hope. Know it's a very distinct possibility. And the more that we empower each other and all, the quicker we get this ascension done. So don't take anything less than the ultimate freedom and be aligned with that. Ultimate abundance, divinity, freedom. Nothing else will do. It's so important. You are the co-creators. Why would you settle for anything less than full peace, love, harmony, abundance in this reality? And that is sense. That is common sense. So, thank you. And for Femke, Joanna says hi, and so ones are also acknowledging and saying hi to you as well. Yeah, Femke's over doing other work there, I believe, so we have to go. Wow. Femke, you're so beautiful and shining the light, and so beautiful. And I thanked Femke last 2 nights ago for her great loving support while I do this mission. So she holds that loving space as well, which I'm very grateful for. So with that, namaste, love, light, and gratitude, and have an amazing day. Thank you.